Maya Angelou said, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. I'm Martin. This is Donald and Curtis. We're native New Yorkers. Welcome to Season 3 of the Road to Legacy podcast.
Together, Martin and I have worked in hospitality for about almost 40 years. And we've been truly blessed to meet people from all walks of life. And in those conversations, it led us to question, what is legacy? What is the driving force that motivates people to do what it is that they do? That passion led us to create the Road to Legacy podcast.
And hey, I'm Curtis, the newest passenger on this Road to Legacy podcast, a student, lover of history, and I'm just super enthused, man, to be along for the ride with my brothers, discussing, debating life, politics, and race, and everything in between. Just hope you come and join us on this quest of seeking, learning, and above all, leaving a legacy. Grace and peace from the Road to Legacy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Road to Legacy podcast. I am your host, Donald Reed, and that is my Man 50 Grand co-host, Martin Small. And today we have we're going to be interviewing a really good friend and family member of the Road to Legacy podcast, Eric Williams, who is the Senior Program Director of HeartShare St. Vincent Services. Now, the reason why we're interviewing Eric is because both of us grew up in foster care in group homes.
I mean, you and Eric, not me and you.
Right. Eric and I grew up in the group home.
No group home.
And so, you know, it was important for me to have this conversation with Eric today because not just where he is in his life and his career, but how growing up in the foster care system literally changed the trajectory of not just his life, but also my life. And so for those of you who don't know what a group home is or what foster care is, Eric will be able to break it down, but I want to briefly tell you guys about my experience. So as you all know, I grew up in the Bronx in low-income housing in New York City, and my family had some issues. Around the age of 14 or so, I became a ward of the state. My dad had put a PINS warrant out on me because I wasn't listening. Basically, police came, they arrested me, and they brought me over to St. Vincent Services. Now, it was a home with 12 other boys. I didn't know anybody in there. It was the middle of the night. And that experience literally changed my life and made me into the man that I am today. And I didn't really go into what group homes is or what but what a group home does is when kids come from a broken home or your family members may be on drugs or incarcerated, there's an agency there that comes to help kind of foster growth and development of kids. So they have a bunch of kids that are in the house and they give you access to things that you normally wouldn't get access to. They help you go to school. They take you on trips. They do a multitude of different things. And I'm butchering it right now, but when Eric comes on, he'll be able to give a better breakdown of foster care. You know, and Doc.
Yeah, I'm right here.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm just glad that we're giving people education when it comes to these group homes or these homes for youth in America and in New York City. It's important because we want to know where these kids are going. And also, it's a vast amount of them. I think it's 300,000 or something like that, or maybe 200,000 youth in the program in New York City. And I know Arizona is the number one group home state, you know, because it's so many people, so many parents that caught up on drugs and situations like that where people have to go to group homes. But I must say that it is a great month here. It's the second day. It's Black History Month. It's very important that we also, celebrate that every day in some form. I think people should give back. I don't think people should be out there protesting right now. Black people should protest, but I think that everyone else should be out there protesting and fighting, because we've already done that. And that's what Black History Month is basically about. We've been protesting since we got here years ago. So, and we've been telling people, from immigrants to everyone else in the United States and around the world, what police do to people. And that's what's happening now to everybody. So, but there's one person also, another person that I want to talk about. His name was George Washington Carver. So George Washington Carver, for Black history, this is the Black history thing that we're doing real quick. George Washington Carver was an inventor. He was a botanist. He was all of that. And he was a great man. He died in 1943. So it wasn't that long ago. I think he was born in 18 something. He was born in 1864. And the reason I brought up George Washington Carver is because he's right here behind me. Right here. That's George Washington Carver. That's my man. See, he's writing down, he's doing like some stuff there. He's inventing some stuff. He did a lot. He made a lot of inventions. You should look that up. But that's my man, George Washington. I had found this beautiful sculpture, believe it or not, at Goodwill. And this sculpture is artifact, and it's worth a good amount of money, even though it doesn't look like it is, but it is. Really good playing. I'm not selling it. This is George Washington Carver. So God bless George Washington Carver and Black History Month. Peace.
Yeah, and I just want to go back for a quick second to explain the importance of having access and the importance of having support. And as I was rushing through my so-called monologue for the opening.
Do you know George Washington Carver was like a foster kid too? You know that? Go ahead.
Yes. He was. George Washington Carver, when his mother was taken from him, well, he was taken away from his mother, was raised by another family. The Carvers is actually how he got his last name. But that was a very, very different time. And what I was saying is the support system. How important is a support system? Before getting into the group home, I was a troubled kid. I was going through so much. I was running the streets. I was selling drugs. I almost lost my life a few times. And I never traveled outside of my neighborhood, outside of my community. There was no one that I had around me to help show me a different way. And I can't say enough about growing up in HeartShare St. Vincent services, because by going to that environment, even though I was still dealing with mental health, I was still dealing with anger, I was still dealing with being or becoming a young man. Because growing up in the Bronx, I didn't have that kind of role model at the time, because my mom was strung out on drugs and my father was living at a different location. They were actually divorced. And so having that support system is extremely crucial, because I know that if I didn't have that, I would have absolutely become a statistic. However, the flip side, though, is that when I was in foster home or in the group home, there were some guys who were not able to transition and turn their life around. And so it's a true testament of not just having support, but making the decision to actually change your life, or to listen to the mentors or people that are talking to you to try to help you become something better, because you may not see yourself in that kind of light. And at the time when I was in foster care, I didn't see that. And it took a long time for me to actually develop a mental stronghold in order for me to say, you know what, these people are trying to help me. And the people who were trying to help me at the time at the agency was not a Black person. The priest is white. You know what I'm saying? So that was also another stigma that I had in my mind, in terms of, you know, who's there to actually help you out. So without further ado, we're going to bring in our guest today, our brother, Eric Williams, to the stage. And good morning, E.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Eric Williams. I am the Senior Program Director over at HeartShare St. Vincent Services, and this is my Road to Legacy.
Oh
Thank
man,
you, everybody, and welcome.
we appreciate you coming aboard. I've heard
Thank
all
you.
these stories about you from Donald, and Donald holds you in high esteem. I think I've met you before at some function. I don't remember, but I really appreciate you talking to the people at the Road to Legacy. We really do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, brother.
All right.
Hey, so Ed, can you tell us just a little bit about your journey? Like, when was your first time encountering the group home? Like, how did you get into the group home?
Well, the first time I entered into a group home, I was around the age of 14. I was living in a foster home, about to be adopted, but my adopted mother got sick, and my behavior at that time was real because I've been in foster care since I was 6 years old, and kinship and stuff like that. So, my mother was never a part of my life. And even though I was with my mother's side of the family, to know that you have a mother and that she's out there strung on drugs and everything like that, you're a kid fiending for that mother touch, that mother wanted, that mother being. And I never got it. So I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of hurt. And that behavior just continued to the point where my biological family couldn't take care of me. So at 11, I went into foster care, non-kinship foster care, so with strangers, and they were beating and abusing me just as much as my family was because of my behavior, because of my anger, because of the misunderstanding of where my emotions was coming from and my trauma was coming from. So at 14, I ended up in a group home. I'm from Staten Island, so I'm originally from the Bronx, right? So shout out to the Bronx, 1420 Washington Avenue. That's right, BX. And I moved to Staten Island at the age of 11 when I went into non-kinship foster care. And I grew up in like the harbor side. So I moved to the West Brighton side at 14. I think it was like Christmas Eve. If it wasn't Christmas Eve, it was the day before Christmas because she couldn't take care of me and she went into the hospital. So because of her backup wasn't there, I went into a group home. And that was the first time I entered the group home. And to enter the group home during the holiday time, oh my God, it was cold outside. It was cold inside, and it was like it was a weird place, but I guess it was a good time because a lot of kids was gone away to their family, so it was just a little bit of people there. So I got to know the ones that were there before everybody came. But the group home I was in, it was 16 young men in that group home, and I'm talking about 16 confused, angry savages. That's what I'm gonna call them because that's what we were. Because again, when we come from a place of hurt and our behavior is misunderstood, all you see is the behavior. So all they saw was the anger, and that anger was a reaction of the hurt. So at 14 was the first time I ended up in a group home program.
Hey Eric, can you just explain to the people who don't know what a group home is? There's a lot of people that don't know what a group home is. Can you explain to them what a group home is?
So group home is an orphanage. So back in the days, in the early stages, they call it an orphanage. And this is where young people will go when they didn't have nobody. And orphanage in New York City was normally run by the archdiocese, right? So a church or something like that. So that's why I grew up in St. Vincent's, or you'd be in Mount Loretta or St. Paul, or it would be something by the church. So it was an orphanage. Then they didn't like that word, and they changed it to a group home, and then they got changed to a residential care. But what it is teenagers living with 24-hour staffing. So every 8 hours or every 10 hours or every 12 hours, depending on the shift that your agency do, a new person comes on to monitor you. And it could be up to 8 to 16 young men or young females, or it could be a mix. And it's run by the Administration of Children's Services. Back when I grew up, it was called BCW. And when things changed, they became Administration of Children's Services, which is now ACS. And now they call themselves just Children's Services. Right. So they coming through the foster care through the court system. So family court is how you get here. So when the family court deems that you don't have family, you don't have a significant connection, or if they deem that your parents are not able to care for you. So there's several ways you could come in. You could come in through neglect or abuse. That's when your family's doing wrong by you. That's how I came into care. You could come in what they call a PINS, PIN, right? A person in need of supervision, which meaning your behavior is so much out of control. Your parents hasn't abused you. They just feel like I can't control them. They're not listening to me. Can you help me out? So they go to the court asking for assistance, and the court will take them on the pins. And that's normally 12 months to 24 months, a year to 2 years trial to try to get the kid to behave. Or again, you can have no family whatsoever. So this is like a child who's called free. They don't have nobody to care for them, and you could be placed in care as well.
Hey, Eric, and thank you for breaking that down, because for a long time, when I came to the group home, I came on the pins, but I actually did not understand what that acronym meant until you just said it, brother. So thank you for
person in need of supervision. Yeah, being by the family court. Yeah,
right. Yeah. These like words and these like
acronyms that they use all the time.
Yeah, man, it's like crazy because it confuses people, especially people within the foster care system, and that are in there. But all right, Donald, go ahead.
So do you remember the first day that you came into the group home? Because I remember when I first got to Richmond Hill, it was the middle of the night. It had to be maybe like midnight, and I felt like, how people feel like they snatched up by ice. I don't know what that feels like, but if there was a feeling, I kind of felt like that, because I was brought over by the police. I was taken from school, and I was going to Stevenson High School at the time, and I remember it clear as day. I had run away from home, and I was living with my friends, and we were going to school in the morning. I was like, "Yo, there's my dad," and mind you, I hadn't seen my father in maybe 4 months or so. And I'm gonna go over there to my dad. My friends were like, "Yo, don't go over to your dad, man. Don't go over to your dad." I'm like, "Yo, that's my father, man. How am I not gonna go see my father? I hadn't seen him in like 3-4 months." Walk over there to my father. As soon as I was like, "Hey, what's up, Dad?" Police came, snatched me up, and then I went to ACS. And I remember it was probably about 12:30 midnight, and they dropped me off to Richmond Hill. And to be honest, I was nervous. It's like for those of you who may listen to this later, the first time you, I don't know, people, if they're going to jail or they're going somewhere they've never been before. And I remember waking up the next day, and the first person I saw was Mama J. Now, y'all may not know who Mama J is, but like Eric was explaining, there is staff that monitor the kids 24 hours a day. So everybody has shifts, and Mama J, it was her first shift. Mama J became like my mother, you know what I mean? And she played a huge role. But E, do you remember when you first got to HeartShare St. Vincent's in Staten Island, what that was like for you?
Yeah, so the experience that you had came earlier for me. That's how I left the Bronx. So I feel like I was kidnapped by ICE almost twice. And like they came to my school when I walked out of school, they snatched up me, my brother and sister, because again, it was known that we were being abused and not treated correctly. And people don't like, when your family hear the word abuse, they don't like it. But we call it discipline, right? When you act up, I'm gonna beat you. But that's when they started naming the abuse and neglect and stuff like that. So they tried to snatch me. I had that experience when I was about 10 and 11 twice.
Wow.
When I ended up at 14 going to the group home, I was so used to moving, and this is a true thing. Since the day I was born, I never spent 3 years in one location.
Oh,
I am 47 years old, and the first time I've ever spent more than 3 years at a location is the location I'm at currently right now, my own apartment, and it's only because of COVID. Because I was so used to moving that even when I was married and settled, we were so used to, and again, my ex-wife, we grew up in the group home, and Antoinette, we grew up in the group home together. So we were so used to moving that every other year we would move. We would never sign a lease for longer than a year or two. We were just so used to packing our stuff and going. It was like a condition since the day I was born. I'm talking about from the hospital to about 41. Every 2 to 3 years, I will be living in a different location with a different family, with a different person. And it was so conditioned that when I had my steady family, I kept moving them for no apparent reason. The place would be nice, apartment be well. Brought a home at one point, and we sold the home. After buying a home, we sold it. Like, now we got to move someplace else, because we were so conditioned of picking up and going. So by the time I went into the group home at the age of 14, when my grandmother was going, and I saw my worker, Barnabas, at the time. And once I saw him walk through the door, I knew what time it was. And this is why so many kids who are in foster care, they don't unpack. They don't unpack because they know they're going to be moved. Because a lot of people who do the work, the foster parents, the adopted parent who wants to do, they don't understand what you're getting into. Like, your heart is in the right place, but is your circumstances, is your support, right, that you're going to need to deal with this kid there. And sometimes it's not. So a lot of times, within the first 3 months to a year, a kid is moved again because, again, the kid is going to act out. We're going to lash out, and it's because it's hurt. And I try to explain this because, I train in de-escalation, conflict resolution, but most importantly, I train in emotional intelligence. And that's what changed my life, right? Going to these seminars and learning about these trainings, because if you don't understand how your emotion will activate, and I say this all the time, your emotions create your behavior, your emotion creates your thoughts, feeds your emotions, your emotions create your behavior, and your behavior will shape the relationships around you, right? So I'm hurting, I'm in need of a mother, I'm hurting. That's an emotion, and that emotion is creating what behavior? If you ever been hurt before, what do you display? Aggression. The last time you was angry is because you were hurt. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's not a first. You don't get angry. Something happens. You get hurt first, right? She cheated on me. She hurt me. He disrespected me. Your emotions get hurt, and then the anger follows. So what they can't behavior, the anger, because I was hurting, and they never tried to resolve the underlying condition of this young man is hurting, and he needs his mother, or he needs his family, or he needs connection. That was never. It was he needs medication. He needs to be tested for ADHD. Like I was taking I took more evaluation tests than I did in school. Right? It was just amazing how they wanted me so bad to be ADHD. Wanted me so bad to go to special ed. They wanted so bad to classify my emotion and my behavior so they can get paid from it. And the truth of the matter is, and I don't even know how. I think it was my wits and my street knowledge, because it wasn't academic. I wasn't even paying attention in school. School was just a place to go to eat. That's what it was for me. It was like you get breakfast and lunch there, and you see your friends. It wasn't a learning institution to me. It was later on in life that it became that. But many times I took this test, I just kept scoring too high for them to. My IQ was just like, nope, he's not. So why he act like that? I don't know. Do he have ADHD? No, he literally has a focus span that's unbelievable. Like his discipline is, and that's how it became slowly but surely. So when I first entered the group home and I saw my work of Barnabas walk through the door, I knew what was happening. I'm like, yeah, I'll go back. Don't worry about it. Why? Because they already took her to the hospital. Once they took her to the hospital, her backup for me, and every foster parent has a backup, was her daughter who had moved to Virginia. So there was no backup. There was no adult in the home to take care of me. So I was going to be moving, even though there were other adults. So the other kids that were there who were family, they didn't have to leave because I had a sister, Tawana, and she was about 20 at the time. She could monitor the rest of them. She couldn't monitor me, though. She wasn't age to monitor me, nor she was your backup. So when I went, I was so prepared and I was so ready. And again, I was so angry that it was like, yo, whatever this next role leads to, let it lead to it. But I can tell you this much, that group home changed my life. And I swear, it was this young man by the name of Jamal. And during the Christmas break, he gave me a book that changed my life. And I didn't know it was going to change my life. First of all, I didn't read, right? So for you to even give me a book tells you, you don't know what the hell you're doing. But I was sitting there doing absolutely nothing, just laying on the couch watching. He was like, yo, won't you do something with yourself? Now, this is a bald-head, Michael Jordan-looking type dude who can play basketball. I don't know if I could ever find this guy. I swear to God, everything that I am started because he saw something. And it's like my mother always used to say, like, that boy's a genius. I just don't know. He saw something. He gave me a book. It was Rene Descartes, philosophy book, I Think, Therefore I Am. And if nobody's ever read Rene Descartes, I Think, Therefore I Am, it's a great philosophy book. He's a great philosopher that basically says, take everything off the table, right? Take God off the table, take everything you learned off the table, take everything off the table, and what you're left with. And what you're left with is yourself, right? So everything can be fake, right? You know, everybody say, oh, this is the Matrix, the world is fake.
Yeah.
Everything could be fake. You're absolutely right, right? This podcast, all this could be fake. But the one thing that is real is me. Right? The fact that I'm thinking, the fact that I'm the real. So everything could be fake, but I'm real. And because I'm real, I'm worth it. So you're worth giving yourself a chance. Don't put it in the hand of God. Don't put it in the hands of the devil. All that could be fake. All that could be man-made. What do we know for a fact? What is hard concrete evidence? I'm real. I'm thinking, I'm real. And I swear, when I read that book, because I grew up as a Roman Catholic, baptized twice in St. John's Church up in the Bronx. And Roman Catholic is, Jesus is everything. Mother Mary is everything, right? We pray to everything. And at that point, I said, you know what? I'm not going to blame my mother. I'm not going to blame my father. I'm damn sure not going to blame God or the devil. I was 14, and I was gangbanging at that time. I was part of an X Factor gang at that time. Now, I wasn't carrying guns at that time. I was just, we were knuckle checking back in those days when we grew up. We went outside, and this told you who you was going to be. Yeah. Amongst men, who you were going to be. And that's the era I came from. And I was real good at this because I was real angry. And when I felt pain, it was like, whoo, now this feels right? So pain drove me. And once I said to myself, it's all on me, slowly but surely, I became what people call it conceited, right? They would say, oh, he's so conceited. It's all about him. That's right. Because I realize right now, whether I fail or whether I do well in life, I wouldn't give credit to nobody but me. And it started off by me accepting my failure. At that point in time, I kid you not, I couldn't read well. Only thing I could do was math well. I could play chess very well because I went to a 700 school in the Bronx that forced me to learn how to play chess, because what they used to do in the morning for 2 hours, you had to play chess before you go to class, because they said everything starts with the mind. And I was fortunate enough to get people in my life that started these little variables that they would throw in my life that changed. And it was like, for the first 2 hours, you play chess. Why? Just to get your mind going. How you going to start doing anything? And when my mind started going, and then you got into the room, and even though I wasn't good at reading, I would raise my hand to read, because I was just excited to be, my juices was flowing. And it was like, oh my God. And then the great part about this school, you did like three hours of learning, 4 hours of learning. You did lunch. And then after lunch, you play sports. So it was 2 hours of thinking, playing chess. Everybody played chess. You had to play somebody in the cafeteria before the bell rung. And then after that, you go to class, do your 4 classes. And after your 4 classes, you eat. Sports time. You play basketball, soccer, football. And this is where I started to discover my talent. So by the time I ended up in the group home where I came across Renee Descartes, I already knew I was gifted in a lot of things. I just had to, stop blaming people, because that's what I did. I walked around the world blaming everybody for my mistakes, blaming my aunt, blaming my mother, blaming some. Like, if I failed at something, it was because of you. It's because of you, and I stopped it. I said, for this fourth, or I am a failure. And I know this seems like to be crazy, but I said, if I'm a failure, it's because of me. It's because of me, and I won't fail. That's one thing I refuse to do. Like, and you can ask anybody who know me, and D, you know me, you won't outwork me. You can be better than me. You can be smarter than me. You won't outwork me. I have that Will Smith mentality. I do this to the day I die. And this is why I'm successful. I'm not successful because I'm the best of anything. Even when I went to sports, I played football, tried out for the Jets, 49ers. The reason why because I'm disciplined and I'm consistent. When you're consistent, improvement happens. Anything you do every single day, you're going to get better at it. Consistency gives you that. You just have to be disciplined enough to be consistent. And that's the problem with most people in life. They're not disciplined enough to be consistent. Because even in relationship, a marriage, it doesn't matter. If you're consistent, you don't have to be the greatest lover. You don't have to make the most money. But if you're consistent and showing up, that marriage is going to work. That relationship is going to work. With your kid, if you're consistent with him, God, you ain't got to have everything. Consistency. The problem is too many people don't have that discipline to be consistent. So one thing I ground myself on today is making sure I'm disciplined and consistent. I start off right then and there. If I want to do anything, I say to myself, okay, you have the discipline to do it, right? And that discipline meaning, are you going to be consistent at doing it? Don't try something and then play around with it. No, do it and go hard in the paint. So that's me. I go hard in the paint. And every time I do that, I wind up on top. And I try things that I've never even tried before. And they're like, yo, how are you good at this? I don't even know. I just know I won't lose. I won't. First time was that cornhole, you had to throw the thing into the hole.
Yeah.
And some people who've been playing for a long time. And I'm like, let me try this.
Right.
Yo, you're good at this. I'm like, yeah, Yeah, like hand-eye coordination, sports. That's what I do. And I just kept going. Like when everybody was done, I mean, everybody's like, yo, we done playing. I'm like, no, I just still got to play. Why? Because I'm not better than y'all yet. So that's when I kept going, like, yo, you don't stop, do you? Like, what is wrong with your brain? It's like consistency. I want to be the best at everything. I want to be great at everything. And I know I don't have to start there, right? I just have to be disciplined enough to be consistent with it. So
now, how do you take that? How do you take what you just said and give it to the youth? Because you are the senior program director. So like you said, the chess in the morning, there's a lot of kids right now that will not do that, especially where we from in group home. They will not. They'll like, yo, I'm not playing no chess at 7 o'clock in the morning. How do you
remember the word I said? What word I said? You have to be what? Consistent.
So you are consistent on that.
With them, on everything I say to them. I do not stop, even with my staff. It's the same repeated thing. That like, again, yes. It's in HeartShare. There's nobody that meet with their staff every week but me consistently. And they know that Thursday we are meeting. Why? Consistency. Because every day we're going to learn something. Every week we're going to learn some consistency is how we get better. Consistency. So I consistently show up for them. And sometimes I don't have the answers.
Eric, where did that come from? Like that drive of consistency, and then where did it come from? And then at what point in your life
right now
did you know?
Started, and that's what I'm telling you. If I could ever find Jamal, if I could find his last name, that brother changed my life with this book. Because let me tell you, in the group, it was so. And when you go to group home, nobody talks to you. You don't know nobody. So I spent countless days with this goddamn book. It was me and this book, and this book. And funny part was, it wasn't like a philosophy book that we using big words. No, it dumbed it down. It was like one of those Head Start. You remember back in the days where you're in the school, they used to have those books that you used to take and used to be like a whole, like 9 of them all together. Yeah. It'd be like the whole chapter, right? It would be on Black history. He had one of those on philosophy. He had it on Rene Descartes. He had it on Plato. He had it on Socrates. After all, I read them all, right? That's how I got into philosophy, because of that one book. And it was able to trigger. And I tell people all the time, change happens in a split second. Change don't happen in a year. When you quit smoking, it happens right then and there. When you decide to quit, it's that moment. When you decide, I want to marry you, it's a moment that happens. It don't happen over a couple of years. It takes a whole couple of years to convince you this is the right person. But that moment of saying, this is the right one, when it hits you, it hits you. When you say, yo, I love her, and you wake up like, yo, you didn't feel like this about her yesterday? I know today is different. Today, I know I don't want to leave her ever. It's like one of those things. So when I read this book, something clicked. And what clicked was, I swear to God, what it was is that when it denounced God in a way of not saying that there ain't a creator. No, Rene Descartes didn't say there wasn't a creator. He said, just take the creator off the book. We know there is a creator, right? If we don't know nothing, you know you got a creator. That's why it says in the eyes of the child, mother is God. If you don't know nothing, you do know your creator is your mother and your father, and they had a creator, and they had a creator. So no matter what we do, no matter what religion you practice, we all are from the creator. You might call your creator something different, right? Buddha, Muhammad, right? Jesus, but they are the creators, right? And that's the funny part to me, is that when he took it off the table, it wasn't in the way of, he said, get rid of your God. No, he was just saying, take everything off the table. Everything your mother told me, everything. Can you picture yourself? Like, picture yourself not knowing nothing. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, how I know nothing? Like, nothing. Everything was taught you. Get off the table. What do you know? If you knew nothing, what do you know? And it was like a big pause. And mind you, I'm reading this. So I'm like, how is it important? Because it was like willing me in like a fish rod. Like, and then it hit, boom. You exist. You're worth it. And there was like words of affirmation. You're worth it. You're the reason. You're worth it. And that's the whole thing that started. Like, oh shoot, I am. And mind you, what it sparked was my conceitedness. It sparked my belief. And you know me. I've always been about me. Like, it starts with me. Like, life starts with me. And the greatest part, because where I live today, and I told you this, D, life ain't about me no more. I live a life of servitude. I live a life about giving back, giving to kids what was given to me. Because see, wealth and riches has nothing to do with money, because everything you need comes from within. Everything great comes from within. Love, right? Peace, right? Understanding. It costs you nothing. So for me, life is selfish. It's all about you. And you become wealthy when you realize it's not about me. It's about me, right? Because God gives to you, right, is your talent. Your give back to God is what you do with it. And once you recognize what that potential is, you start doing for others. And that's when you start realizing I'm wealthy as hell. Like I got all the money in the world. I got everything that I need because people feed you. And you know that because if you ever been in love, she makes you feel like you could do anything, right? And let me not say she because in this world today, he or she makes you feel like you can do anything. That person make you feel like you could conquer the world because you have somebody on your side. You have somebody to support you. If you have a mother, for those who had a mother and father in your life, they make you feel like you could do anything in the world. Mm-hmm. So when you get that support, when you get that person on your side, when you get that, and this is what parents are consistent in your life. If you had a grandparent, they were consistent in your life. Your significant other is the person, matter of fact, who's your best friend? Your best friend is the person who shows up the most in your life. Not the smartest, not the bravest. They don't have the most money. Your best friend becomes the person who knocks on your door every day saying, yo, D, can you come outside? And your mom, can you come outside? That becomes your best friend. What? Consistency. Consistency. When you are consistent with something, it works out. So consistency. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go. Finish that.
It was the consistency. So what triggered me was Rene Descartes saying it was me. And then when it became about me, I discovered that life was bigger than just me. Because when I ended up in college, there was a young man by the name of Irvin Williams. We called him G. He was a staff of mine in Staten Island. And I remember telling him I wanted to be better than my father, right? And this is at the time I'm still, holding grudges against my father. I want to be better than my father when I become a dad. And this man used to work the 4 to 12 shift from Staten Island. I went to CW Post in Long Island. That's way out in Long Island. That was like an hour and a half. At 12 o'clock at night, this man would go pick up my son from Park Hill on Staten Island and bring it to me in college. This man never asked me for nothing. He never charged me nothing. He just wanted me to be a better man. You say you want to be a better man, be a better man. Be a better man to your child. Don't let college become between you. And that's what he would do. And I used to always ask him, like, yo, why? Why would you do this? I broke his car window one time. I slammed his door, broke his door, and consistently would show up. And he just said, like, yo, I want to see you live up to your word. You talk it, be it. And it was people like that. The Quincy Franklin, who was the best man. He was my supervisor, best man at my wedding. I'm going to be with him on Sunday at the Super Bowl. Haven't missed a Super Bowl with him over the past 10 years. His family's like my family. Consistency. I'm telling you again, it seems like it's bigger than that. But when you're a person of your word, you don't have to have the answer. You just got to show up.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, this thing right here will be right. The road will be successful if you're consistent. You consistently show up. If you build it, they will come. The audience will come. People will find out. People are like, yo, that is a great consistency.
Consistency is key.
Yes, and what stops consistency, right? It's the lack of discipline because we always chasing other things. We don't have that discipline, right? Because we think there's something better, right? So you would give up on this because you think there's a better platform someplace else.
Exactly.
That's why this platform didn't rock because you wasn't disciplined enough to believe in yourself to say, this is where it's at. We're going to build it here. People are always chasing something else. And when somebody see this is working, they'll say to you like, hey, join with me. I got a platform. And instead of saying, no, brother, continue doing your platform. Let me come out to your platform, promote you. You come to mine, you promote me. We promote each other. Instead, we break both our platforms down. We start something else. And therefore now 2 become 1 rather than 2 becoming 4, 5, 6. Like, and this is the thing for us. And only our people do it. Like we want to support everybody, right? But who's supporting us? Us. Be consistent.
We let me just say, we're speaking to Eric L.P. Williams, Senior Director, Program Director, HSVS. One question before you go, Donald. I just have this question, right? Consistency. Now, just if you can do this, being in the type of job that you're at, consistency is what you believe in. That's your holy grail right now. Consistency. How do you work in an environment when the supporters of your program, of where you work, whether it be government, are not consistent? How do you actually get around that?
Yes. So this is me and my program. So and if my agency ever see this, they're gonna look at it, but they know me. So I'm me everywhere I go, right? A lot of times they don't support my thought. but I'm consistently chasing them down about it. I don't stop. Like if I wanted, like we were trying to put a basketball.
You're talking about donors. You're talking
I
about
wanted to put a basketball court,
federal funds, all that stuff. Okay.
So this is the thing. I wanted to put a basketball court in one of my programs on Staten Island. And they was like, oh, it costs too much, because it was on a hill. So it was like 90, then 100,000, like whatever. So I came to them and said, okay, what is the price you would pay? Like anywhere between 5 to 10,000 our donors be willing to give. So we need to fix up the front. I found the way to do it. Consistently nagged them. When they redid the front, I asked them to put a 3-car garage in the front, right? Where 3 cars can fit. What is that? That's a half-court basketball court. Mm-hmm. And then I'm asked them in that garage, keep a roll space, a place where we can plant, because the kids love to plant. The kids ain't never planted a day in their life. And they put a dirt area where the kids could plant. Mm-hmm. And what I did is stuck a basketball hoop right in it. Now, all they have to do is remove the cars, and the kids have a basketball court in front of their property. And we've been fighting for this basketball court for the past 10 years, and we was able to get it because what? I never stopped quitting. And let me tell you the thing about the kids, because I know you're saying, like, how do we get the kids? See, the first thing we must do is we must learn how to ignore behavior. See, a behavior is a form of communication. All forms of behavior.
I like what you just said. Say that again.
You have to learn to ignore behavior, because if you know how to read behavior says something to you. When a person is acting out, they're saying something to you. The problem is who's listening. And too many times we have staff, we have administrators, we have people in my position, we have people who want to help, but you want to help a young man by telling a young man or a young lady what to do. You're not listening to what they're saying to you. It's like, no, they don't talk. Yeah, they do. Every day when he breaks something, every day when I'm about to smack the crap out of somebody, he's speaking, he's talking, he's saying what's frustrating you. You don't see the hurt? You don't see the pain? Mm-hmm. He's telling you every time he talks to his mother, he gets off the phone, he's angry. He's telling you he wants to be well. We're not listening. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We're not listening.
That's right.
So we could be consistent all we want, but you being consistent and not listening, like being in a marriage, like I said, right? You could be consistent in that marriage, but if you're not listening to her or him or whoever it is, what good is it? So you have to be able to listen. And active listening, meaning being able to verbalize as well as body language. We talk about this all the time, right? Body language says everything, right? But then what do you think behavior is? It's an action. Mm-hmm. So I don't look at behavior, right? I hear behavior. I hear it. You say something, and I'm okay with apologizing to you for whoever done what to you. Listen, it happens, and I'm sorry that it happens. But I try to give ownership to them. What are you doing? This is your car now. What are you doing? Your mother did that. Your mother failed in that. Your mother did that. Okay, I hear all that, and that was wrong, and you're absolutely right.
What do you think happens with the kids that we grew up with that didn't listen? Like, do you think there is a decision that's made for that person that says, you know what, I hear what everybody else is saying, I hear what Eric is saying, I hear what Martin O'Donnell is saying, but I'm gonna just do my own thing? Because we knew a lot of people that we grew up with that didn't make it out.
We did our own thing though. See, but we all do it. See, this is the thing here. Is when somebody's making the decision, right? They're making the decision with the best skills and tools that they're having. So I can't go to a young man and ask him to be disciplined and consistent the way I'm disciplined and consistent. I can't even go to my staff. I can go to one of my staff members who have a master's degree and think they're going to be on the same level as me because we got a master's degree. No, I cannot believe that. You see that? So we say these words, and words today just means words, but I take words seriously. You want to meet somebody where they at, then meet them where they at. Stop trying to tell them, come to where I'm at and I can help you. Because that we say, I'm gonna meet you where you at, but what you really do is say, hey, get on my level, behave yourself, respect people. That's not them. That's not where they at. That's where you at. That's where you want them to be. So that's like you calling me, Donald, right now and saying, yo, I'm lost. The first thing I should say is where you at, right? And then you got to describe where you at. And if you can't use, I don't know what street I'm at, okay, describe what's around you, right? I first, and I call this the power of understanding. It says, you first must seek to understand before requesting to be understood. You first must seek to understand before requesting to be understood. So me, I always seek to understand them. What's hurting you? What's your problem? I'm the problem. For most of the kids, they hate me. You uppity ass, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm the problem. And what's the problem with me? Y'all never show up. Y'all never did. Y'all never do what y'all gonna say. And what is he saying? Y'all not what? Y'all not consistent. And what did I vow my whole life on? being consistent. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show you different, because that's the one thing I value is showing up.
Ignore behavior and consistency. That's what I'm learning today.
Yeah.
From Eric LP Williams, boy. I'm
Yeah.
feeling you. I'm feeling you with this, and I'm telling you, we gotta get you on the lecture circuit. We got to get you out there right now. Hopefully, you have time because you do a lot of.
I do have time. Yeah.
Finish what you. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
I'm excited, man. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's a great thing because again, when I took over as a program director, ACS and OCFS, they do these takedowns, right? And they do, because if you act up, they gotta take you down. Yeah, that's jumping the kid. And me, I worked out because I was like, it's gonna take 4 of y'all to take me down. They're gonna take one of y'all. So what are you literally doing? You're jumping the kid. You're gonna jump a kid, and then the next day say, "I care about you." So I told him, we don't do hands. We don't do hands on. And my staff's like, what? We're not even gonna learn takedown techniques. What? We're gonna learn how to communicate. What? Yeah. If they have an outburst, let them have an outburst. If they're gonna cuss you out, let them cuss you out. You're not the target. You see what I mean? You just happen to be in the way. You're not the matter of fact, you're not the problem. You're the target, right? It's like I'm hurt, and y'all gonna show up today. Y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get it. And the problem with people don't understand, let me say this, right? Mm-hmm. If you work in foster care, anybody out there, understand this. We work where they live.
We work where they live. Okay.
That's right. So understand this. You are your worst where? The worst you is at home.
Yeah.
At home. Yeah. When I come home, I take off my shoes, I cuss, I do all type of things. I'm not trying to be Mr. Williams. I'm being Eric at that time. I'm fighting and doing all my worst behavior is in my house. And yet we work where they live, and we want them to be the professionals. It's crazy to me.
Oh, I love that.
We want them to behave.
I like that, Dan. I left my pen. I don't want to get up and go get my pen. I've been trying to write. You see me looking around because I'm trying to find my pen. So ignore
behavior.
Stay consistent.
No. So I don't want you to ignore behavior. I want you to listen to behavior. Behavior is a form of communication. I want you to listen to behavior. Don't ignore it. Okay. Listen, pay attention to it because it's saying something to you.
So can I, like, if somebody come in the door, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up right now, yo, you whack, do I ignore that type of behavior, but listen to it at the same time?
No, you don't ignore it at all. Get your ignore out your mind. What did that person just say to you? What did that person just say to you?
Yo, I'm gonna fuck you up.
No, he did not. See,
he said to me, I'm having issues. Nobody's listening to me.
No. It's like bilingual, right? If you fluent in Spanish, but you know English, when you hear English, you translate it to Spanish, right? Or if you speak Spanish and English is your fluent language, when you hear Spanish, you translate it into English. To comprehend, you have to translate it, right? So when you hear behavior, it is your job as the professional to translate that into language. Why you think you don't talk to the judge and your lawyer talk to the judge? Not because you're stupid, you just don't know the terminology. Right. So when you say to your judge, yo, this fucking judge is an idiot, man. He don't know what I'm talking about. And he turns around and say, Judge, my client right now is feeling very stressful and need a period of time. I'm like, I didn't say that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, because that's not how you talk to a judge, right? Yeah. It's the same thing you're doing. So when that man walked through the door, what he said to you, yo, I am frustrated right now. And I'm pissed off. And nobody's hearing me. And you're here. I'm going to punch you in your face if you say something to me. That's what he said to you. I'm frustrated because you just saw me. How is I'm the problem? So the thing to me, I would say is, I hear you, brother. What's frustrating you? What makes you want to punch me in my face? And what can I do to help ease that?
Right.
What? Listen? I get it. You want to punch me in my face? Let me first accept and recognize the behavior. Right? You're frustrated and you want to punch someone in the face, and that someone for some strange reason is me. And I'm saying to you, what it is that I can do to help you get over that. Now, first thing you're doing now is forcing them to think. See, you're getting them out of their emotions. So let me tell you something about emotional intelligence, right? You can't do both at the same time. You cannot think and be in your emotions at the same time. See, when you're in your emotions, you're reacting. And the reacting is a survival skill. So you're in a state of survival. So if I'm reacting, I'm in a state of survival. I'm not thinking, I'm just reacting. And this reacting is a survival technique. And that survival technique says me over everybody. So if even myself, if I feel threatened, well, all the skills I got is out the window. Why? Because now I'm in survival mode. I'm into protecting me by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you got to get that person to do is move from emotions to thinking. So when you say to them, I hear you, you frustrated, you want to punch somebody in the face, and you think that somebody is me you should be punching, right? And I'm trying to figure out, why is it me? You know what they got to do? They got to think, well, why do I want to punch you in your face? Well, you know what? I don't really want to punch you in the face, like not necessarily you, like you just here. Now they thinking. And once I got you in your thinking, what you out of? Your emotions, right? And now I got you out your emotion. Let's figure this out. And then again, what I say, I'm going to be consistent, right? I'm going to be here with you. Let's work this out together, bro. I might not, y'all owe somebody $10,000. Whoa, I can't bail you out of that, right? But let's figure out what can we do.
Hey, so write that down. Hey, I was listening to everything. I was writing that down.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So it's that thing. So again, when I say to you that listen to behavior, you first have to train yourself not to be afraid of behavior. And that's what the media is showing you. See, the media tells you, right? The media triggers your trauma and say that black man is a threat. That person right there is a threat. This white person is a threat. This person with a ski mask is a threat. They train you for that. So when you see it, the first thing you go into what? Survival mode. So if you're in survival mode, you're in your emotions. Are you thinking? No. So me, I don't go into survival mode with them. And no matter how aggressive the behavior is, I'm not in survival mode. You are not my enemy. You are not my op. And this is why I agree with that statement. F the streets. You damn right. Fuck the streets. Like we cannot continue to be loyal to something that's not loyal to us, and constantly keep giving our children to these places. Like I was sucked up. I was a Crip gang member carrying guns. I almost lost my NFL career. It didn't even go nowhere. But before I even got there, almost lost it to being caught with a gun. Like all these nonsense because I want to have an op. Like I want to hear the street. Like you are not my enemy. I am not your problem. I'm your solution. I'm your buddy. I'm your comrade. I'm somebody to help you. I'm your peer. Listen, 97% of our bodies, no matter what we are, if you're human, 97% of us share the same eyes, limb, chromosomes, all the same. There's only 3% that separates us. And that 2% of that is normally skin color, eye color, right? And then another 1% is the decisions that where we were brought up, the regions that we were brought up, right? The fact that I'm Muslim is because I grew up in this family, right? So that's another 1%. So only 3% is different from us. Yet 90%, 97% of us is the exact. We breathe the same, we look the same, the nostril work, the heart beats the same, the blood flows the same, we bleed the same. Yet we allow the media to take the 2% or 3% and make us hate each other over that. Are you out your mind? Are you out your mind? And that's all because, again, when someone is hurt, and I say this is my message, and anybody who know me, we must be at our best when people are at their worst. So when somebody is down and out, that's when I call myself to be the greatest me I could ever be. And that's when I give it. And my ex-wife calls it that's the Christ in me, right? She says all the time, like, that's the Christ in you. Yeah, call it what you want. See, I'm not going to get caught up on language. You see, that's what they want, right? I'm not going to get caught up on call it what you want. I just know when people are down and out, I'm not going to kick you, brother. I'm going to help you up. I'm going to be at my best. And that means going out my way, doing a little things that are going to make my life a little bit uncomfortable. If it's going to make your life much better, I'm willing to do it. Why? Because people did that for me. And that's why I stand where I'm at. There was a coach by the name of Brian Collins, God rest his soul. He was a great influence. And he asked me when I was in school, he said to me, because everybody was like, yo, I wasn't even highly recruited. And I went to see the post. And one thing he used to say when everybody started seeing my talent, they were like, yo, he's gifted. He put me to the side one day. He said, can you be great when nobody's watching? I thought he was crazy. What the hell are you talking about? Like, he always saying some weird stuff to me. Can you be great when I see you great when everybody's watching you and the performance is on? Oh, you are great. You see, like right now, everybody's watching. Can you be great? Yeah. But when the camera goes off and nobody's watching, you're sitting at home, are you going to be putting in the work? Don't chase money. Don't chase greatness. Put in the work and greatness will come to you. And see, that's what I have done. Every single day, I strive on putting in the work. And the acronyms, the achievements, the awards, the recognition, it all comes to me. It comes to me because I'm not chasing nothing. So what's my legacy, right? What's my legacy going to be? That's not for me to determine. What's for me to determine is, are you going to put in that work today? And the answer to me is yes. Are you going to be consistent today? Yes. Are you going to be disciplined today? Yes. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to wake up, say, it's another day. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to put in that work. And at the end of the day, and I tell people today, if you put one foot in front of another, right, in 365 days, guess who you'll be? And that's going to be my legacy. That's for y'all to determine, but I'm going to put that work in. And I'm not going to be outworked. I'm not going to let other people limitation tells me what I can and can't do. And that's what happened with my administration. They always think, oh, we can't do something. And for me, I'm like, oh, yes, we can. And let me tell you, we don't even call my program group homes. We call it healing homes. I'm going to tell you how significant this is. And the reason why I call it healing home, because for some strange reason,
healing homes.
Healing homes. Yes, I don't like calling it a group home. That's not. It's a healing home. And the reason why it is because there's no difference between the staff I hire and the kids they're coming through the court system. They're the same people. They're just one is 10 years in front, one is 15 years, 20 years different. There's no difference. And I can tell you to be the truth because I was that kid. D, you was that kid. What's the difference? Have you changed? No, just years came on you. And you couldn't stop that. It ain't my fault. 30 years ago, I was in a group home. There's no difference between the youth we serve and the adults, right? So we're all healing. We all go through that problem. I struggle still today. I hurt still today. I get angry still today. I'm healing. I'm working on me. So I call it a healing home. And this is the significant part about it. When I first said, I'm not calling it a group home as a director. I'm going to call it a healing home. And I swear to God, so many people say, you can't do that. You just can't change it. Today, the Administration for Children's Services, called HeartShare St. Vincent Services Residential Program, Healing Home. OCFS, that's the Office of Children and Family Services, addresses my program only as healing homes. The Justice Center, which is the state, addresses my program as the healing home. No one calls it a group home because they know that man refuses. And this is how it's a small seed that I planted. And it started with me. And then it started with the people who work with me, right? It started with the kids. This is a healing home. It started with and then slowly but sure, it branched out. And because we were so consistent, when somebody said group up, healing home, and it was like, well, what was that? Well, we all working on each other. These kids ain't the only one with the problem. We got issues. We're dealing with it. I'm not perfect. And now everyone calls it, even when you see it on paper, when you see it in the like HeartShare St. Vincent Services healing home. And everybody's like, what's a healing home? Oh, it's a group home, but they don't call it that. And if you ask who they was, it was he. He didn't want to call it that. Hey. So when everything starts with you. So if you want to make a change, it starts with you. And if you could, I'm going to say it again, I hate to sound like a broken record. If you're disciplined enough to be consistent with it, right? People are going to do it. If you say your name, listen, Prince changed his name to a symbol, right? Why did it work? Because he was consistent with it.
Right. And then
right?
back.
Hey,
yeah.
and if you guys are just tuning in, whoever's just coming in and listening to the conversation that we're having with Eric William, who is the Senior Program Director of HeartShare St. Vincent Services, we are talking about growth, development, and change. And Eric is a true testament of that. And we are extremely grateful for your time and for your message. One of the questions that I want to have, so everything that you're saying and you're talking about, for people who have mental health, like say you see someone on the street and they're talking to themselves, or they smell like piss, or they robbing somebody or doing something that would seem like a behavior that is dangerous. Do you believe that the approach that you're talking about can be applied the same way for someone who is mentally already gone?
Yes. So let me tell you this. There's a lot of people mentally gone that we consider to be stable. And I say that with no disrespect, right? But I know some people who pray to God and everything is God. They got no food in their house. They ain't pay their rent. And they just praying to God and talking to Jesus. Talking about he going to pay the rent. He going to make it happen. Who you think he's talking to? Who they talking to? See, we accept it because he used the word Jesus. He accepted because he used the word God. And that's just the oppression who gave us that, right? That's so this person talking to themselves. Why that person can't talk to themselves, right? This is what I have done when I was, I think it was like maybe 6-7 years into the work. I was at a McDonald's, and I never forget this, on Bay Street, and the guy walked up to my car and asked me for money. And when I recognized who this guy was, I went to school with this person. And at that time, I started at 23, so I was like maybe 29, 30. This is a young fella who I knew had everything, was gifted, played ball for New Hope High School, and he was out there begging on the street. And I gave him some money, but it threw me off. It threw me bad. And I said, like, yo, how? And the next time I came across a bum, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to offer them $20 to find out their story. Because I didn't know. See, ignorance is a terrible thing, right? When you don't know, lack of knowledge will kill you. Let me tell you, and when you have a lack of knowledge, it pumps fear. See, that's how the media gets us, because we don't know the situation. They tell us what the situation is, put fear in our heart, and then we allow them to do whatever they wanted to do. Because we didn't understand COVID, they were able to give us everything and do everything to us, and we just followed because we were so afraid of dying. But now that we know what we know, see, that's what education does. That's what knowledge does. Knowledge frees you. See, when people talk about freedom, the only way through freedom is knowledge. It's knowledge. That's why the revolution would never be televised, because it happens up here. See, when you educate yourself, when you get the knowledge, when anything that you're afraid of, and this is my thing, anything you're afraid of, you need to learn about. So if you hate Nazis, then go learn about the Nazis. Go learn about the Nazis. And people are like, oh, that's crazy. Was it? Because Fred Hampton did it. Fred Hampton walked in there and spoke with them, and they said, oh, shit, we share the same struggle, because he wasn't afraid of the white man. He knew it was poverty that was causing this. He knew it was the government that was making us. He went to the Latinos. He went to the Vice Lord. He went to all of them. I don't know who y'all are. Talk to me, brother. And that's why his message was power to the people. Not power to black, not power to white, not power to the people. See, because when we don't know what's going on, this is how they play the chess game. This is how they played us against each other, because of the lack of knowledge. So to me, I had to figure out how this happened. And the young man who told me his story was about, listen, I went to the army. When I came back, my family moved. I didn't know where they at. I stayed at a few shelters. And then when the shelter didn't have room, it was the summertime. I started sleeping on park benches because it was the summertime. And then I was eating like food from here and there, little soup kitchens and stuff like that. Then when I couldn't find nothing, I would go to restaurants or McDonald's when they throw stuff in the garbage. This is freshly thrown out. Now he's eating out the garbage. And to him, it's like, they just threw this out. This is good. And he's like, that turns into, well, let me just wipe this off. Let me just wipe that off. Let me just break this off. This is just spoil you. And he's like, and then you can't even smell it no more. You can't smell yourself. And you know that because the last time you went in the bathroom, did you smell it? No. You didn't know how bad it was until you came out. Right? When you sit in there,
walk back in. You walk back in.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know how good you smell until somebody say, "Oh, Martin, that was you. No, you smell good." And you so used to your scent. You're like, that's me. I can't even smell myself no more. Right? It's the same thing. They get used to their stench. Right? So these people that we saying who has serious mental health issues, well, what's going on, right? There's a chemical imbalance going on with the brain that they don't see the world the way we see it. And it's our job to be patient with them. It's our job. And this is what I'm saying, where we got to be great when they're at their worst. It's our job to take care of people like that. It's the same way that we take care of the children. It's the same way we take care of the elderly. They're not in their right mind. But don't tell me that the problem is that they talking to themselves. That's not the problem. Because just the other day, I was in my house by myself, and I was going in. If you would have heard, listen, I had some good quotes. I was talking to myself, and I'm talking about I was getting into my mode of writing my book, and I'm like, oh, just like, I should have wrote this down, but I was talking to myself out loud because that's when I do my best thinking. And my neighbor, I bet you would have thought somebody was in the house with me. And if you look at my Ring camera, and you would have saw it was just me, and I was jumping up and down when I said something good, like, oh, I was losing my damn mind. I was losing my mind in here by myself. So the thing is perspective taking, right? Mm-hmm. For what angle is your lens when you pass in judgment? And this is why I don't pass judgment. I don't pass judgment because I'm not seeing it through your lens, right? My brother was one of the biggest drug dealers in the Bronx, and people used to say he was a threat. Spent 17 years of his life in jail. And that man was never a threat. Never a threat. I was never scared of him, never afraid of him. But you talk to certain people, they were like, yo, that man was a killer. No, he wasn't. He was somebody's son. He was somebody's brother. Mm-hmm. You didn't understand the condition that he grew up in. Being out in the streets selling drugs and making money, you got to carry yourself. And if you're willing to do harm to somebody's willing to do harm to you, you got to pack. Mm-hmm. But how do somebody who's not involved in that life look at it? As a gangbanger, as a gangster, as a thug, right? And the same way the media keep describing them, right? Back in the days when we get out of slavery, the first thing they did to corrupt us is saying that we were raping white women, that we were savages, that we came from the jungle and we would act jungle-like. We wasn't doing that. We're the most peaceful people in the world. We have never taken over. We have never conquered. We never pillaged any place. And yet that's what they said about us. To the point when they made Birth of the Nation, right? That first Birth of the Nation had people think, oh my God, we can't trust them. They were hanging us, killing us, right?
Oh yeah.
This is what they do because of fear. But as time went on, and this is not just about white people, just people, period. When we get to know about other races, when we see the beauty of other races, when you see listen, and I talked to someone from the Aryan Nation when I was in college, right?
Mm.
And I knew he was, the way he was dressed up. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go talk to him. Nobody wants him. I'm gonna go talk to him. And we sat down, we had a conversation. He didn't hate black people. He hated the fact that his race can be erased. See, when you mix black with anything, you get black. When you mix white with anything, you get whatever you mix them with.
Yeah.
So they know if you date outside our race is going to be gone. Stop doing that. So they stick to their race. And the way they do it, instead of educating them on that, they do it by pumping fear. By saying, oh, the Chinese is this, the Negroes is this, the Negro, because that's the easiest way to control somebody is out of fear. Because when you fear something, you damn sure ain't going to touch it, right? When your mother said the stove is hot, and you felt what burnt was or hot was, you're like, oh, yeah, you'll burn yourself. You didn't go next to the stove. That was fear.
Right.
That was fear. And that's how they did it. So these kids that's growing up under that fear is what it is. So I try to eliminate that. Anybody who fear anything, you just miseducated. You have a lack of knowledge on that one thing.
Are there just, I don't know how much time you have, but I just want to get just a couple more questions in. But is there gaps in the system right now that you work in that you feel should be filled right now?
Yes. The biggest gap we have in the system today in foster care is that we're working with the kids and not with the parents. Right? We cannot continue to take kids. Like, let me tell you the thing I don't remember when it was, but it hit me where we took 5 siblings from the mother because she couldn't support them. Right? She didn't have the money to support them. That was the main thing.
5.
The house was just 5. She wasn't feeding them, no food, no fit. This was the reason. This was the only reason. No. And we took those 5 kids and we paid $800 per kid to a foster parent or to a group home when the mother problem was feeding her kids. Now, $800 and something per kid, $1,600 per month would have helped her out of her situation.
Yes. Yes.
That's a cheaper course. So why the government is not helping the mother, rather take the kid? Because whether you like it or not, the state get paid from the federal government by how many people they have in care, whether you like it or not. It's a business.
Similar
and
to jail.
everybody knows if
Similar
you're
to
not
jail.
trying, and no business. I don't care if it's the hospital, foster care. I don't care if you selling cars. The money is in the re-up. You don't cure nothing. I fix your car good enough to get it on the road to come back again, right? I got to get an oil change every 3 miles, every 3,000 miles, every 5. Get out of here. But we can fly a rocket ship all the way out to get out of here. But the money's in the re-up. If I fix your car and you never had to come back again, if I give you a solar car where you never need nothing but the sun, then where my business at after everybody get a car? Right? So we're not selling you a solar panel. We're going to sell you half gas, half solar, and we're going to make sure those panels break down every 2 years. You're going to have a solar problem. We got satellites out in space, and you telling me solar panels breaking down on Earth when you can fly through the atmosphere and put them out? Like, it makes no sense. But the money is in the re-up, right? So that's what it's about, because this makes no sense where we have the kid and we're not helping home. So how do I take a kid out of a negative situation? Don't help the home. Even if I help the kid, even the kid get right, he can't go back to the same environment that created the behavior that led him back here. That makes no sense.
That's a big gap, man. How do you fill a gap like that?
When I first started, it wasn't like that. When I first started, the main person you work with was the parent. You had to get the parent to parenting classes. You had to get them to a drug treatment program. Everything with parent. Somewhere between the 2000s and 10, we moved towards just the youth, working with the youth.
That's politics.
Listen, and again, we will pay a foster mother. We'll pay an adopted mother anywhere between $800 to $1,600 a month.
So you would want to go back to that way where you had to deal with the parent, make sure the parent got paid.
Yeah, no, listen, if the parent is I believe in preventive services, and don't get me wrong, there's preventive services out there. So anybody who's in preventive services, they're doing it right. They're trying to prevent the kid from coming into care, right? But the preventive services is not the big business. It's not. It's like the store that sells a supermarket who sells cold cut. That's not your big business, right? So it's like a portion of what you do. But the big business should be in preventive services. We shouldn't be a need. And that's crazy because I'm telling you that there's no need for my job, right? But if we do it correct, then my job should be different. It shouldn't look the same. I should be working with people at home. I should be working with these kids at home. I should be a mentor going into a house. And let me tell you, there is programs out there. So I don't want to say there ain't programs out there, because there's a lot of programs out there that goes, they will send mentors in the home and will actually try to help the family. It's just not enough. We're quick to snatch a kid and put them in the system and then pay someone else to raise someone else's kid. When again, and listen, if you look at it on the healthcare did it the best, right? For a very long time, you would send your grandmother or your mother, your elderly or sick to a nursing home or something like that. And what did they do? They say, hey, no, stop that. Now go get a family member. We will pay your family member who's not working to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Doing what? Helping your family member get a job, and now who's taking care of you? A loved one, rather than a stranger abuse you. Now it is sickening. A lot of loved ones abusing them, right? But you see, that was the right mentality, but we're ruining it. But that's the right mentality. The right mentality is work with the kid at home, bring support, bring resources into the home. Stop snatching kids out of the home. Now there is certain times where we have to, right? Because the kid is too out of control and stuff like that. Time, right? That because we waited too long. Yeah. And I say this in my home when they're like, Mr. William, what happened when two kids start to fight? Well, when two kids start to fight, I can tell you a long time ago you didn't do your job. Why? A long time ago you should have heard them screaming and yelling at each other. A long time ago you should have heard what you say? Say that again. That's what you should have heard. Mm-hmm. That's when you should have intervened. The point in time when you saw that kid pacing back and forth, you should have intervened then. You see, when they fighting, that you too late. See, when a kid is removed from the home, it's too late. Now the system has to work. Now the system has to do what it do. The problem is stop removing them. Stop allowing that to be an option. Stop allowing parents to have the option to say, listen, I don't want to deal with these kids. Oh, I had too many of them. Take the oldest one. We're breaking up family. We're causing resentment. We're destroying the family structure. And mind you, again, they want it that way. It's the Jim. It's the Jim Crow laws all over again, right? Yeah. That's what Mr. Lynch did, right? Mm-hmm. He came in here and said, hey, have the young hate the old, have the women hate the men. Women could get 8 women, and this is the part, not to our women, because our women is special, but because this is all women. And this is the plan that they do. As a 23-year-old with 2 kids, they will pay for everything for you as long as you don't have a man in the house. We don't see this. Like we don't see the plot. That's been going on. The only qualification is I can't have a man in the house. Yep. That's been going on for years. And made movies about that. So, and I say this to everybody: if you are a single parent, you're failing. Now, can you raise a child as a single parent? Yes, you can, but you're still failing. Let me tell you why. A single mother or a single father, it doesn't matter, because if you are single, what are you teaching? I don't need the next. So if I'm a single father and I got a daughter, right? I'm telling her I don't need a woman in my life. I don't need a spouse in my life. I don't need a companion in my life. I can do this by myself. I just had this on my Facebook page yesterday. I said, I love being by myself. I hate being alone. I love being by myself. I love my peace, but I hate being alone. I never want to be alone. I just love being by myself. Right, so my because pain could be in the next spouse. You'll be sitting right next to me. Just leave me in my peace. Right, that's me being alone. Right, and that's the whole thing. If you're a single mother, right, what do you think you're teaching that single female? Yeah, that you don't need a man. So what you're raising a single mother again? Because I don't need a man. I can do this on my own. I can be self. And that single mother will fight so hard. And this is what single mothers do, and they do a great job at it, making sure their kid get an education. But the problem with that is when you get an education, you get a good job. The next thing, the parallel thing to that is I don't need the other person. Right. And we need companionship. Mm-hmm. Who's filling up my bucket when I'm filling up everybody else's bucket? Who's rubbing my back? Who's telling me I'm great? It ain't my parents. It's gonna be my spouse. They make me feel like I can do this again. Right. And this is the problem in the world. And listen, just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do it. Mm-hmm. Because I can rob an old lady doesn't mean I should do it. Right? Like, this is the nonsense in the life. And too many times, and this again, we are programmed for this. This is the program. This is why it's television, and who vision is you telling it? Damn sure ain't ours, right? It's you don't need. We are always told what we don't need. Right? Mm-hmm. We don't need. And this is what separates us, because divide and conquer. As long as they're not together, they can't hit hard.
Yeah.
Right? A smack hurts, but a punch would knock you the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you can't see this, E, but someone said, it was actually my cousin. She said, I'm single with children and always tell my kids I need a partner. She said a partner is necessary with or without kids.
You see the message she's driving? Because she's the educator. You see, that's the message you have to drive. I'm looking. I'm a single parent. But my daughter and my son know I'm looking. I am definitely looking. I definitely want. But a lot of people get rejected. See, she hasn't reached that point of rejection. And what happens when you get rejected too many times?
You get isolated. You're like, yeah.
That's right. And then you say, I don't need them, or they no good. I don't need them anyway. Because this is what you start speaking. See, and you don't know this. And I'm not saying she does because I don't know her, so I want to pass it. I don't want to say everybody. But the problem is, when you don't see it in the house, you're teaching that. So that might not be your message, but it ain't what you say. It's what you do. So you can say, I want, but you never had.
That's right.
You never had. I never seen a man in the house. So if I was a female, I know mommy always wanted a man, but I never seen the man, right? I never seen the man. Then how do I know how to treat a man? And what do most men say? Most women I come across don't know how to treat me, don't know how to be there for me. Listen, I was just in a previously talking to somebody, and they were, everything fine, beautiful, everything was perfect. It just wasn't what I needed, because what she wanted was a man to take care of her. Well, who's going to take care of me? See, it wasn't the other way around. And it was like, show me you can take care of me, and I'll show you I can take care of you. And it's like, whoa, no, from the gate. From the gate, I need your commitment. From the gate, I need you to say me and you. Even if we don't know if it's going to work. You can't be talking to 3 or 4 or 5 people like, well, what is that about? If you have options, then you can easily go. Yeah. And she didn't understand that. But perfect in every way. I had no complaints about her, right? But the thing was, it wasn't right for me. It wasn't right. So that's the whole point. It's like, it ain't about if you're a single mother, what I'm saying is, I ain't saying, remember I said, I ain't saying you can't raise a child.
Right.
You're not going to be successful at it. Why? Because to raise a child is to raise a family. It's to create a community. That's the purpose of family, is to keep the family together, to bond. Like the strongest person in a life is a woman. And if you don't know that, tell me who's the glue to your family. It's always Big Mama. It's never been Grandpa. Grandpa had never been the glue. But if you ask Grandma, she say we have all this because of him. But she's the glue. You know why? Because women has always been the God. They always been the creator. They always been the giver of life. This is who they are. They always been the teachers, right? And if you look at it, we're the protectors. So we out there, we rough, we rugged, we're raw. As the teacher, a little girl, my daughter and my son, they grew up differently. My daughter couldn't say and do. Sit down, be quiet. If you're sitting down, be quiet, what are you doing? You're listening, you're observing, you're paying attention. And normally young females are around what? The adults, because you have to protect them. So then I'm listening to who? The adults. So by the time I'm 20 years old, of course I'm more. Even if my brother's 22, of course I'm more what they call who's more advanced. I'm more advanced than him. Why? I've been paying attention and observing all this knowledge my whole life. And that's why females, they are who they are. But again, the system has taught us, right, to not. I'm gonna say it again. How many females want to be the male in the relationship? They want to be the provider. They want to be the tech. They want to be the breadwinner. And I remember I saw this lady, I forgot her name, and she said, I make way more money than my husband, and I'm not the breadwinner. She said, he runs my household. I am not. I follow that man. He leads me. He guides me. He protects me. I just happen to make more money than him. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking. Like, you don't see that. Why are we not spitting that message out? Because I'm telling you now, majority of women who makes the most money is like, I'm running it. That didn't make you a leader. That's not why I'm the leader. That's not why I'm not leading this. I'm leading this because of my bravery. I'm leading it because of my protection. I'm leading it because of my alpha instinct to protect you. This is why I lead the household. And this is why I don't teach my kids. I expect you, because you have the wisdom. You have the knowledge. You've been viewing and seeking your whole life. You've been quiet we're not quiet. We rough, rugged. We jumping off of everything. We're learning how to be warriors while they sitting back and learning how life works, right? How mother cooks in the kitchen, how do that. So, and this is not the male female type switch, but this is the balance that they took away from us. And then that normalcy ain't there no more. And then whenever a man like myself says, I want a traditional woman, They're like, oh, you want me back in the kitchen? No, actually, I want to cook.
Well, you see what's going your perspective. You see what's going on in the system. You see what's going on with families.
Yeah, they're breaking us apart.
You see what's going on with husbands, wives, and youths. So you have a different perspective, and that's a blessing to have that.
And everything's an argument, right? Because we're trying to figure out ways.
Yeah, I have a question. I want to go back for one quick second because there's something that I wanted to ask about. And you see it in your field. I've seen it growing up too. When a child grows up in the system, or they come to the healing home, and they've been sexually abused, how do y'all deal with that? And then how does that show up in their life in adulthood?
Okay, so
there's two different questions.
No, it's the same question, right?
And there's a lot of sexual. The assumption is that there's a lot of sexual abuse inside the healing homes.
Yeah. Well, no, it is. Because sexual abuse happens a lot, and that's where a lot of anger comes from. And especially, and let me tell you, everybody just thinking it's the females. The hardest one is the male, because so many young men are being sexually abused. Yeah, being touched, is being in all types of ways, and all you see is that anger. And no young man is going to tell another man that he was touched or forced to do something. No one's going to say that. So therefore, that man got to live in that darkness. He got to live with that hurt. He got to live with that pain. You see, and this is why, for me, I can apologize to anybody for the hurt and trauma that you're going through without me knowing what that hurt and trauma is. See, that's something you're going to have to work through. That's something that you're going to have to come to terms to. See, but what I can give you again is consistency. I can be here while you go through that. And when it's too much, you can lean on me. When it's too much, I can take your mind off and give you something else. And see, the thing for me, and this is what I try never to do, is abuse your power. Because once you abuse your authority, you become just like everybody else. Everything is built on trust. This relationship is built on trust. Every relationship is built on trust. So when you're engaging a young man or a young lady who's been sexually abused, it's starting all over with trust. It's trust. And that first trust is to say, right, not only that I hear you and I believe you. Now, I'm going to go there because I love doing this and connecting it to it. There's a big difference between belief and facts, right? Yeah. What is a belief?
You see that today.
A belief today is your truth.
Politics, yeah.
Right. Your belief is your truth.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's factual, but it's your truth. If you believed your uncle touched you, ain't nothing going to change in your mind that says your uncle didn't touch you. Now, is that factual? I'm not trying to find out if it's factual. I hear you. I believe you, and I want to help work this through you. And if it's wrong, and you know what, you took it wrong, by me being here with you and working through it, you're going to realize like, oh, shoot, you know what, he wasn't. And let me tell you, and this situation happened to me. I was one time, my youngest son's mother, we were watching TV, and I think it was a 6-year-old touched a 3-year-old, and she had made the statement of, oh, that 6-year-old should know better. And I'm like, no, that's a learned behavior. Who taught that 6-year-old to touch that 3-year-old like that? That 6-year-old is being touched by somebody. Right. She's like, what? Yes. A 6-year-old don't touch somebody like that. So if a 6-year-old is molesting a 3-year-old, then it's a 6-year-old. So she was like, no. So I said to her, so if it was a 12-year-old touching that 6-year-old, right? That 6-year-old know better because he knew better before. She was like, no, that 12-year-old should have known better. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're playing with the numbers. Right. When the truth of the fact of the matter is these are all learned behaviors. These are all learned behaviors. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to point and find the victim or the predator. When the truth of the matter is they're both hurting. And I'm going to say this, R. Kelly, if you listen to his brother and him story, remember his brother says, I love older women because I was touched. And R. Kelly says, well, I don't love older women. I hate older women. I love to be the power person. So I love younger people because I can control them. Because in his situation, he realized, oh my God, my aunt had all the power. So he wants the power. And his brother, who got molested by the same aunt, said, nah, she just made me love older women because older women know what they're doing. The same sexual abuser, two different perspectives. Yeah. Two different experiences. Where one becomes the predator and his brother don't become a predator. He becomes the person like, oh, no, I love cougar. He's 50-something saying, no, I love 60-something. He don't even still, I don't like no women. Both of them don't like women his age, their age. One like younger, one like older. And that's perspective taking. So for me, like I said, it's perspective. So when you got somebody who comes into a program, don't try to find out the facts. Try to help their belief system. Try to help them come to their truth, because that's what help moves you on. When you have somebody listening to your truth from your perspective, I don't care if it's not 100% right. I don't care if you got the timeline mixed up. I'm here. Talk to me. What's hurting? What you want to say? Vent. Go ahead. Cry. Yell. Shit. I'll get a punching bag. Let's get some weights. Get the anger out. Because that's what emotion, energy plus motion gives you emotion. So when you got that energy, Einstein said, motion is transferred. What are you doing? Most of us suppress that. And when we suppress it, it eats us up from the inside. And that's the hurt. And how that hurt shows in anger. That's the energy. So because you suppress that feeling, that feeling is hurting you inside. When that energy gets too tough, you got to lash out. That's that behavior. That's that negative behavior that people get afraid of. And I tell people all the time, like, oh, no, all behaviors is terrible. Really? Because when you're happy, that's a behavior, right? When you're in love, that's a behavior. When you're dancing, that's a behavior. But these are all positive behaviors that we don't see as a threat. See, so behavior is nothing but, like I said, communication. It's a way to express yourself. It's energy. It's transferred energy. It's just when it's negative, it's activating me. See, your negative behavior is activating my trauma. And that's why I'm scared. So when a white woman is sitting in the elevator and a black man walks on there and she clenches her perch,
that's right.
That's her trauma. That's her trauma. Someone taught her to not trust him. They ain't got nothing to do with him. That's her trauma. So the question becomes, we got to get better at our trauma. We got to get better with dealing with our emotions, saying, hey, where did this come from? Why am I afraid? Why I got scared? Ooh, why I got scared just a little while ago? Why when the police said, woo, 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 why did I get nervous?
Yeah.
Why am I getting nervous every time the police light goes on? My trauma from my childhood.
Every
my
time you see it,
right. Eric Garner died. My trauma, seeing Ed Floyd, like that's my trauma. When I see these people, when I see George Floyd die on the floor by the police, that's my trauma. Like I don't want to be next. And then the people in my community is feeding me the trauma by saying, like, yeah, they're killing anybody these days, right? It's the trauma with ICE and everything else. Listen, they are bad people. Let me tell you, ICE ain't nothing but the KKK. Right? Masked up individual with the freedom to do what they want. Right? Coming into your town, terrorizing them. The same thing the KKK did. There's no difference between them, right? And now we're being traumatized by them, right? It's the trauma. It's our fear. Let's get to understand, right? Let's get to understanding. One, we need to understand. They need to understand. Whatever we need to try to do, we need to do it together. We're not separate on this. And that's where the struggle is at. It's like we think we have ops and we don't have ops. Because let me tell you, you take two enemies. I don't know who you know don't like each other. And you stick them in the same cell for 6 months. And I guarantee they're no longer enemies. You know why? Because they're going to start sharing. And when they're going to start sharing, they're going to start realizing that, oh my God, we have a lot of things in common. I mean, your flag is red and mine is blue, but I came up in that same type of environment. Yeah, poverty. Oh, you didn't eat? Yeah, y'all represent. Like, what's the difference between a Crip, Blood, or
Latin
Alpha
King
or Omega? No. Sororities or fraternities.
Yeah.
What's the difference between?
It's the same.
What's the difference between a Mason or a brotherhood? Right? The triad. What is it? A brotherhood or a sisterhood? We share common goals. The problem is when you in the ghetto and you in survival, right? We call it gang. When you're in an educational institution, we call it what? Fraternities and sororities, right? When you in the millionaire club, right? We call it frats and stuff of that nature, right? It's all the same thing. We're all searching for a connection. And this is why hurt people, right? And this is why people we're bonded to each other because it's the pain. It's the pain. So when I see a behavior, I try to isolate it. Why? Because behavior is contagious, right? They all feeling the same way. They all feeling the same thing. So can I isolate it to deal with it one-on-one? Because you can't help everybody at the same time. And for those who want out there who says, I'm trying to change the world and I can't in this system, you're absolutely wrong. To change a world, the only thing you have to do is change one person's mind, because a world is one person perspective. If my message today help you, Donald, or you, Martin, I just changed your world.
Your message.
I don't have to change the whole entire world. You know, every individual. And that's that story of the starfish when the kid goes down 1,000 starfish, he throws one in and they're saying, what are you doing? You're not gonna be able. He said, I'm gonna help just this one, right? My goal is not to change the entire world, but it's to affect one individual at a time and hope that has a ripple effect.
Well,
right?
you're a giver. You're a giver, and you're a serviceman.
Well, it's not even a giver. What I call is it's a server.
Hey,
I'm a server. That's right. I'm a server because when you go into a restaurant, no matter what you ask for, right, that server is going to get it. Why? Because they know that's their job. That's their job. See, in my line of work, we don't think we're servers. So when a kid asks you to do something, you're like, I ain't your mother. What are you talking? Yes, you are. Yeah, that's the role you're going to play. If that kid asks for 15 things, you're going to. But if you put your mind into, I'm here to service you. A lawyer knows that he serviced the client, right? Especially if you're paying that lawyer.
But you know, Eric, I think that you go beyond that. I think that what I'm hearing from you is basically, love for what you do, love for the job, love for this, because love, we know that what the scripture says, love is patient and kind, right? And that's what I see from you. When you talk about consistency and all that stuff, I see that you love what you do. You love the youth. You love yourself. You love your past. You love what's going to happen in the future. You love what's going on now. So I look at it bigger than just being like, I know you gave that analogy of lawyer, but I look at you on a different level. We're speaking to Eric L.P. Williams right now, Senior Program Director.
But you know the thing about love, right? Love is hard work. Yeah, love is hard work. And so many people have given up on love. Let me just say this. Right?
Let me say this to you.
No, let me say, I'm not taking away from it. I'm not taking away from it.
I got to say something.
This, right? Because what happens when you got a young man or a young woman who is giving up on love? How you get them back to love?
That's a great point.
Consistency. You see, before love, it comes consistency.
Right now, you
get to love by discipline and consistency. So
how I gotta ask this question: How is Eric L.P. Williams, the Senior Program Director of a group home or a elder home with all these kids, everything going down? You get stories every day. I saw you in the beginning of the podcast looking at your phone. I was like, I hope you don't have to run out and save somebody's life right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How does Eric Williams take care of himself? How does Eric Williams mentally, are you able to take care of yourself? Because if you're taking care of people every day, my wife does the same thing. You're taking care of people. You're trying to create things. You're a creator. You're here. You got the government coming at you. You got the kids coming at you. You got your staff on your back. You got what you do. How do you take care of you? And then we have regular trauma in our lives, our own personal lives.
So this is why
yourself.
This is why I countered the love thing, right? Because it is hard, right? And this is why I say, when you are the person that takes care of everyone, who takes care of you, and that's a heavy cross to carry, right? When you carry the cross for everybody and you can't carry it no more, if I carry it for everybody, that means no one could carry it for me. Right. So I ground everything in what I do on my purpose. So I don't do nothing. And matter of fact, it looked like it's gonna go right back to what you're talking about, right? I don't do nothing that I don't love to do. You see? So I don't want to say like I'm pouring into myself, because that's not true. And I realized this because I got great people in my life. And I didn't notice that I had great people in my life until one day I told them I didn't have great people in my life. So my oldest son's mother, Natasha Charles, I was one time speaking to her, and I was telling her, like, I don't got nobody, like, it's just me and nobody. And she said, "Wait, boy, you out your mind? You got me. If you ever feel like you ever in need of anything, if you ever just need a break, you just come here and I got you." And I'm looking like, what are you talking about? You don't got, yeah, I do. I ain't got a lot to give, but whatever I got is yours. And it was the first time it came to my mind that, holy crap, I got somebody.
Right.
Got a sister by the name of Ann Fisher, feels the exact same way. I don't care if I got to give you my basement or give you my husband bed. You gonna sleep with us. You got somebody. And because I'm always out doing, we got to take time to recognize what we have.
Right.
Because a lot of times the person to do for everybody we have, and we don't even know, because the people we're doing for is willing to do back for us. Its problem is we don't allow them to. See, I would never allow nobody to do for me. but that does not mean they're not there for me. And I can vouch for that for my daughter's mother, my ex-wife. She's also willing to, if I tell her right now I lost my job, she's like, come on, we here. We ain't got to be mad, but I got you. So we don't know. So, and I say this, the grass is always greener when you water it. And too many times we don't pay attention to what we have. So this is where I'm going to say this. I'm a person who appreciate what I got. I'm not chasing nothing. So I don't live my life chasing. I live my life every day by the moment. I know time is man-made. There's no difference between yesterday and today. It's all one long timeline. So if I take out the moment, like right now, what's important to me is me being here with you. That's the only thing that's important. I'm going to give everything I got to this. I'm not worried about something else. I'm not worried about here because it's called mindfulness. See, stress comes from the future or the past. And I ain't got time to worry about stuff I don't got control over. I control my future by preparing for it today. Malcolm X said that. He said the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Right? So as long as I keep doing right by me today and right by others today, I got a great future. The past already happened. I can't stress about that. Mm-hmm. And how do you change your past? Well, you change your past with your present. You see? So if I did you wrong yesterday, and since yesterday I've been doing right by you, it might take 2 years, but if I do right by you every single day, that day I did you wrong gonna be forgotten about. So I can change my past by what I do today. I can change my future by what I do today. So what's important? Today. And as long as I'm given another breath to wake up today, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna give it my best
and do it.
And again, I'm gonna be as disciplined I can be. I'm gonna be consistent I can be. And I don't know who I'm gonna help. I don't know where I'm gonna go. All I know is, I know every single day that I wake up, I know it's a blessing for me to do right. Again,
and you're prepared.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm not prepared. It's okay not to be prepared, right? As long as you disciplined enough to be willing to put in the work to be prepared. Like right now, I don't know how to play the piano at all. But if I knew I could earn a lump sum by playing the piano, I might go get myself a piano and stop playing. Right? But that discipline has to be there, right? Mm-hmm. That consistency has to be there. It doesn't matter what it is. You can. I don't care how hard your life is, and this is why I'm sticking with consistency and discipline, right? Because if you don't have nothing, what would it take for you to be consistent? No matter how bad your life is, you got no money, you got nothing. What it costs to be consistent? Nothing. It's free. You have it already. It's just you need discipline. So if I'm broke and I lose my job today, what do I need to be consistent on? Finding a job, right? Be consistent on looking for a job. And if I'm consistent on looking for a job, will I land a job? Yes. I wouldn't land a job if I say to myself, nope, I only could get a job that gives me 6 figures because that's what I came from. Now I'm limiting myself. But if I say, no, I'll work at McDonald's. Because if I work at McDonald's, I can feed myself, and then the money I make will pay for the rent. See, too many times we have these barriers. We can say, I've been looking for a job, Where you been looking? Well, I've been looking at the law firm. I've been looking at it. You ain't even got a GED. What are you talking about, law firm? Like, what are you, again, recognize the tools you got on your belt. Recognize the skills that you have and be honest with yourself. And then be consistent with that. And you don't be that too. Right. And don't be afraid to start at the bottom. Don't be afraid to rebuild yourself. Don't be afraid to lose it all. Because when you lose it all, the one thing you're not going to lose is you. This is why the most consistent thing is you. You want to love somebody, love yourself. You want to be true to somebody, be true to yourself. You want to be brave, be brave. It starts with you.
I'm going to get a consistent shirt. Yeah. I'm going to get a consistent shirt. Yeah. LP Williams.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Hey, and so before we get ready to wrap up, there's one word sentence answers that I have for you. There's only 5 of them. So I'm a rattle off something, and I want you to give me one word or the first word that comes to your mind. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Group home life in one word.
Struggle.
Huh?
Struggle.
Okay. One skill it taught you that helps you today.
Consistency.
Comfort food from back then that you still love.
Say what?
Comfort food from back then you still love.
Baked macaroni and cheese, boy. Baked macaroni and cheese with some candy in. So I don't know which one because they go hand in hand. But I can eat baked macaroni by itself. I can't eat candy yams by itself.
Right. Okay.
So it's baked macaroni and cheese. Yeah.
All right. One thing people always get wrong about kids in care.
They're violent.
They're violent. Okay.
Yeah. And then what does legacy mean to you?
Hard work. Hard work. I don't know nobody who have a great legacy that didn't put in hard work. If you look at and let me tell you, this is my idol. Like I grew up watching because we was the same age, but Kobe Bryant has been my mentor. The Black Mamba has been my mentor. And a lot of things that I take was from him. And let me tell you, in my life, he helped me because when I was struggling in the group home life, he was 17 struggling in the NBA. And he took on this mentality that I was great before I was great. He said Muhammad Ali, right? Remember Muhammad Ali at 19? He said, I'm the prettiest. I am the greatest. Yeah, that's what he said. I am the greatest. I am the prettiest. And he kept saying it. What is he known for? Being the prettiest and the greatest. He spoke it before it happened. You see, you got to love yourself before you're going to find love. See, you gotta speak it into existence. You gotta say, I'm getting the job before you get it. You gotta say, I'm getting the relationship. See, you gotta be a husband before you become a husband. You gotta be, and I told this to a lot of my sisters I told today. You keep trying to be a girlfriend, wanting to be a wife. You gotta be a wife to become a wife.
You gonna have me get up and start dancing right now.
Yeah, when I see a wife and a girl, I'm like, I want to marry her. Why? She has white material. Instead, it's like you gotta be first what you want to become. Because let me tell you, and I tell this to my staff all the time, whatever it is you think you are, you're not even that yet. Because we see ourselves what we're chasing. So I listen to the people around me because even though a lot of people put me on these pedestals, there's a lot of people that would knock me off that pedestal real quick.
Oh, yeah, quick.
And listen, but let me tell you, but no, I'm talking in a positive way. I got people in my life that would check me real fast. They say, hey, what about this? You struggle in this area. Right? Because this is why we're all healing. We're all working. Like we're all work in progress. I'm never done. It's always something I can improve on. There's always something I can get better at. And I'm not perfect. And even the words that I say to you. So if I offended anybody or made anybody feel a certain way, this is not perfect. Like there's always outliers to everything. And there's always, people that's always going to define one way or another. All I'm saying is this is my perspective. This is my view. And this is how I see it. If your perspective and your view is different, I'm willing to learn from you. I'm willing to sit with you. I'm willing to talk with you because once I get the knowledge that you have, that makes me a better person. Like when my bookshelf gets bigger, I get better. So when someone's saying, yo, he don't know what the hell he's talking about, then let's sit down and have a conversation and make me a better man. Make me a better person. See, I don't fear that. I don't argue with those that say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I embrace them. I don't know what I'm talking about. Why you say that? Talk to me. And then we have a conversation. And I'm like, I never saw it from that perspective. And if I don't have that perspective to give, then I can't speak from it. So I'm not speaking from everybody's perspective. I'm speaking from my perspective. So everything I gave you today came from my perspective of how I see the group home. There's probably people in the group home that seen it different. There's probably people who walked the same walk that I walked and saw it different. I'm giving you my perspective. And if it don't work for you, then don't eat it. Right? Don't eat it, don't swallow, don't digest it, don't utilize it. But if it can motivate you, and even if it motivates you in a negative way, just to prove me wrong, well, to prove me wrong, you still got to put in work. And that's all I ask for anybody is be great, right? When other people struggle.
Well, we're gonna try to definitely get you out here, man.
Yeah.
We try to get you. We definitely want you to speak in front of somebody because it's inspired me. I feel inspired, and then I'm an older man right now, living in Indianapolis, retired, chilling out. But this podcast inspired me, and once again, man, I appreciate this.
I appreciate y'all. Listen, to give me the opportunity to speak to more people and to people to hear.
Oh, we gonna be calling you for that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I do appreciate it, right? Because
that's why we want you to take care of yourself too.
Oh no, I do. Trust me. I say, listen, every single day I take care of myself because I'm moving in my purpose. You see what I'm saying? Like, listen, and when people hear me, they say when people hear me speak, they think I'm talking about God, right? The creator, right? Because it's all the same thing.
That's
no matter what you call it.
When you're talking,
no matter what you
I'm a Christian. I call myself a proud born again Christian, right?
That's right.
But you heard me say fucking shit. I be saying that because I know what you're talking about. And what you're talking about encompasses everything. It's just not just one thing that one person believes in, which helps you do your job well,
Yeah.
and which helps you get your point across and helps people understand and open their heart to what you're saying. Because the heart thinketh. The heart has the same electronic brain.
Oh, yeah.
So if you could open my heart and I can think about what you're saying, then it's easier for me to go through. But I think Donald,
so everything is a language. So let me just say that everything is like language, because language is the easiest way to see it.
Yeah.
When someone starts talking about Muhammad, and then someone's talking about Jesus, or somebody talking about Buddha, or whatever you're talking about, all you're talking about is a different language. The topic is the same.
Yeah.
The topic is the same. You're talking about the creator. And if we can get past language and understanding that, you know what, I need an interpreter. Because this person just said to me something that I didn't understand. If an atheist says something to me, I can still perceive it. If somebody who believes in God says something to me, I can still perceive it. Why? Because I'm fluid in language. So I will turn it on. Okay, what language is that? Okay, I got to get to know that. I don't know much about Buddha, but let me read up on that, right? And then when I read up on Buddha, I'm like, oh, that's how I feel about my creator. Right. It just doesn't have a religion. Like, oh, but you don't believe in God. No, I don't believe in the way you say God. But I do believe what you just said and how you feel is how I move. So it's like our purpose are the same. I'm going to say it again. We let the 3%, the different language that we speak, we're talking the same thing. I never heard a Muslim person not say the same thing a Christian person said. I never. It's just they want to give the credit to Muhammad. It's like, no, listen, you're saying the exact same thing. You believe in the creator, and your creator wanted you to do well and do right and be connected and do more for others. I believe that as a server. And it's like, well, what God do you serve? Me. What are you talking about? It says it even in your book, right? The God within is greater than the Bible, the God outside, which means the God, the kingdom, the heaven, he lives within. That's why we can't hear it together, because it exists within. And it says in the Bible, right? Genesis 1, line 27, God created male and female, he created in his image and likeness. Now, I don't know about you. If I'm creating his image and I'm creating his likeness, that means I got the power and the ability to do as he do. And God, I'm God. If it walks like it, talks like it. But the problem is we don't want to take on that responsibility. See, we don't want to take on, that's a heavy thing to carry. That's why Jesus carried it for everybody, right? He died for our sins. He had to carry because he understood that the Father, the Son, the Holy, we all one. We're all one. The grass, the dog, the animal, the spirit, we all one. What are we fighting about? What are we talking about? We speak in different languages because we come from different regions. We come from different areas. We're born from different parents. But are we not saying the same thing? Do we not want the best? Is the drug dealer on the corner not trying to provide for his family? Is he not trying to make sure his eat? Yes, he is. Now, at the same time, he's taking life because he has to. But not for nothing, I thought a lion kills a zebra just to eat, right? He's taking a life too. So where you at on the spectrum says it. So we pass judgment. That's what I'm saying. The moment you pass judgment, the moment I'm going to tell you you're wrong. The moment you sit to me and say, you're wrong, I would never tell somebody they're wrong. I want to know your perspective. Oh, that's your perspective. You're not wrong. That's your perspective. Tell me more about your perspective. You're not wrong.
Yeah, your perspective.
See, the moment we say wrong, that's right. Because the moment we say wrong, we cut off knowledge. And the moment we cut off knowledge, we become ignorant. And the moment we become ignorant, then we're the worst version of ourselves. And I don't do that. So we can have different perspectives. Tell me more. Okay, we see things differently. I'm okay. First of all, I was never trying to change nobody's mind to begin with. I was never trying to change nobody's mind. I was giving you my perspective.
Hey, E, and I want to say thank you to you again, brother. And I also want to apologize to Sir Walk and Althea. I saw that they were going to come in. We'll do a part 2 of this where we can invite some more of your staff to come in and have a conversation about HeartShare experiences work. But this was an incredible and amazing, inspirational conversation. If you all tuned in while we were live, thank you. If you will watch this later, also thank you. E, before we wrap up, can you just tell people where they can find out more information about you? If there's anything on the side that you do that, you may want to get.
I'm into a lot of things. I download
all your group home or what you do with your healing home.
So one, I have a lot of jobs, right? So I work in the morning time as a senior youth a senior director for a youth residential program. That's at HeartShare.org. Right, so you can find me on HeartShare, the main buildings in Brooklyn, residential program. I also work for a DD program for the developmental delayed, and that's my night job and my weekend job. So I work for 2 other agencies, again, giving back to those who can't do for themselves, again, because when people are at their worst, we got to be at our best. I also DJ, so I'm a DJ E-Dub, yes, so I'm on the ones and twos, and my service as a DJ, you can find me at mydjplaylist.org. I have a website. I'm also coming out with an app, My DJ Playlist. In a couple of months, we're almost done with the production there. For me, when it comes to DJing, so the whole name is DJ E-Dub, the trauma champion, bringing people together through music. So I use music as my way of healing. So when I DJ, it's not about money. So if you have an event and you're struggling and you can't, I come out and I try to perform and I try to bring people together as long as we're trying to do it out of peace, out of love. So if I can make your event better, that's what I try to do. And whatever you can afford, we can do. So I'm not a DJ trying to charge $5,000. No, because I love music and I know what music can do for people. So even this Saturday, I'm going down to Seated Church in Delaware. Shout out to Delaware Seated Church. I'm going all the way to Delaware to do an event out there. So I've been to Baltimore, Maryland. So I travel all over from Baltimore all the way up to New York. Just doing. Let me tell you, Seated Church has been one of the churches who have plugged me into a lot of places for me to express myself. But again, what it really is music is the universal language.
What's your favorite music though? What you playing? What you playing real quick? I know we gotta go.
Anything. I play R&B, hip hop. Listen, I play the trap music if that's the audience, right? I'll play conscious music. To me, is to make that connection on that vibration. You see?
Okay,
because that's what connects to us. See, because we know back in our days when we had those house parties, right? Like it moved you. You felt that.
Oh,
you knew you was growing up and you was hearing Motown, right? It moved you, right? So music moves you. Even I listen to a lot of Korean music lately, and I don't even know what the hell they saying. Oh, yeah, listen, but the rap, it still moves you. Look at Afrobeat. Sometimes we don't understand what they say. We never understood what Jamaicans were saying. Repeat a Jamaican song, and I bet you half the words are wrong, right? But it still moves you because that vibration moves you.
Right.
You see, and when you get to that vibration, those frequencies, see, that's what music is. And when music speaks to you on that level, that's me. I bring people together because I play that music that speaks to your heart.
And how do we get in contact with you again? What's that with the DJ thing?
Oh, it's mydjplaylist.org. Is my website. Yeah, so you go there, you'll see my website. You can connect me there. But again, I'm always working. I'm always trying to do right by others. And again, listen, my life is very simple. And I just want to truly be honest. When I wake up, I don't know where my day is heading. Only thing I know is I'm going to be consistent, and I try to be disciplined with myself to be the best person I can be, the best version I can be. That's what I try. Even when I mess up, I just try to be the best version I can be for other people. And if I can help somebody, I'm going to help them. I'm not perfect in no ways. I have a lot of flaws. Talk to any one of my exes. I've been married twice and divorced. They got a lot of things to say. You can ask anybody who knows me. They'll say, yo, this guy is crazy. But if you ask them to describe my heart, they'll tell you he has a heart of gold. Because I'm always trying to do right by people. Because I'm going to tell you, and Donald Walker, who wanted to come in, he's one of those young men. When I was 14, he raised me. And now we work together. I'm his director. But it was people like that. That man brought me to different places. Like you were saying, we went to different trips. He had personal trips he used to take me on. And he had no reason to do so other than the fact that he wanted to show us a different light. When you open up their eyes and you give people different perspective, believe me when I tell you, you're changing their world. So that's all I try to do. I don't have the answer. All I know is by being consistent, by showing up, that's more than half the battle. And that's all you got to do. If you don't know what to do, just wake up today and be consistent and have discipline enough to be consistent to do whatever it is that you're passionate about. Too many times we give up on our passion and we're right there. So be consistent.
All right.
Hey, Eric, thank you again,
thank you
brother.
very much. I appreciate you, Martin. Appreciate you, Donald. Appreciate it.
Yo, so we will see you back again, and love you, brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
We will definitely. Yes. We
make sure I get a copy of this run so I can.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And run.
But we definitely want you to come back on, man.
For sure. Look, anytime.
We know you're busy. We know you're out there saving lives, And we appreciate you, Eric L.P. Williams, Senior Program Director of HSVS in New York, New York, all day and all night. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, brothers.
All right, E. Yo, that was another amazing. I don't know if you got something from that, but I definitely did.
What? Consistency, man. Consistency. I had to send that. I had to send that to my wife because she's dealing with stuff at work today. She's one of the most consistent people that I know. But I had to remind her because some people forget that. But that was beautiful. That was a beautiful, and the kids in New York City right now, my hometown, in those group homes or healing homes, which we'll call them from now on, are blessed to have someone like that man supporting them and behind them. It's just a blessing how Black men just continue to be consistent in serving the people of this country and of the world. So I was very influenced and inspired and educated today.
Yeah, and it's very important that we show up. Like, you see how Eric shows up and all the gems that he dropped on us. And he has so much volume and knowledge of things to tell people. And so what we're going to be doing, guys, going forward, we are going to be starting a lecture program where gentlemen like Eric will be able to come out and talk to kids and help shed light and hope to tell them, look, I did it. You can do the same thing too. And especially in the time that we're in now, we need to continue to build more community. We all need each other. And one of the things that I love that Eric said is that if you don't understand something or you have fear about something, go out and learn about it. And that is so powerful. He brought up Fred Hampton, that a lot of people, it's Black History Month, Black History Year, all day, every day. But one of the incredible, powerful things about Fred Hampton, like Eric was talking about, is, he went to these people that he may have had fear for, or, the narrative was they hate this person or they hate that person, they're separatists, and he brought them all together and had a conversation which helped to change the perspective of how you see someone. And so as we live in the time that we're in right now, where there's so much hate and there's so much separation and division, let's go out and have these conversations with people who don't look like us, to bring the unity in the community together. Yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was a great interview. I'm so happy. I thought I met him once, but this was great. And like Donald was saying, everyone, we're going to do this lecture circuit, this lecture program. If anybody out there knows any youth, we come to you, any youth in between the ages of 25 and 14 that want to know. We're also about to go I said it backwards. We're about to go to Atlanta with Indie Juneteenth soon. On a financial wellness situation.
It's Invest Fest. So if you guys heard of leisure and all that stuff, we're taking some kids there in August. Excuse me for interjecting.
So we're looking for that. So please just support us the best way you can. And we're going to start posting more of how you can support us, not just in kindly, but also financially, so we can continue to do this work. Our toy drives, our food drives. Supporting different organizations in Indy and in New York. Please check us out. Go to our Cash App. You could just send even $1. Doesn't matter what it is, will help us to continue to do this work. So on that note, Donald.
On that note, guys, thank you again for your time. Continue to go out there and to inspire, to educate, to influence other people by what you do. And in the words of Eric, consistency and discipline is key. Consistency and discipline is key. And yes, and we'll end on that. I just was going to say, Hyro asked the question, do you guys have other options for other states to send to your toy drives? You want to answer that, Doc?
Or do we have other options, like other options when it comes to what is Hyro saying? Hyro is a great supporter of Road to Legacy podcast. out of LA. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, he asked if there are other options for states to send to your toy drives. And so, Hyro, I guess, yeah, they can, if they want to donate, they can send to the Cash App.
Right.
If you want to volunteer, you can hit us up, and then any options. Yeah, you can hit us up and we can tell you about the next toy drive that we're going to do. We're kind of on the fence on we're going to do another toy drive because we're pivoting to do more. However, the toy drives are not off the table. And one of the other quick things before we wrap is we'll reach out to Eric for sure to see if there are any kids that he think that we can bring with us to Invest Fest in August. You know what I'm saying? So we'll reach back out to Eric about that.
Right.
And again,
and just to let everyone know also that Cash App and whatever we get, we actually give a portion of that to the youth, a youth that may need help or whatever situations they may be in, homelessness or food, or from toys to food, which we've done for like 9 years now, but we need to start doing it more. So thank you so much for supporting us. And I'm going to end. This is when I'm going to end what I have to say. Donald.
And again, I'm closing with the words of Eric: consistency and discipline. This was another incredible episode of Road to Legacy podcast. Love each other, help each other, be patient and kind, in the words of Martin.
And Ice got to go.
Ice out. Ice out.
Please. We out.
Peace.
Maya Angelou said, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. I'm Martin. This is Donald and Curtis. We're native New Yorkers. Welcome to season 3 of the Road to Legacy podcast.
Together, Martin and I have worked in hospitality for about almost 40 years. And we've been truly blessed to meet people from all walks of life. And in those conversations, it led us to question, what is legacy? What is the driving force that motivates people to do what it is that they do? That passion led us to create the Road to Legacy podcast.
And hey, I'm Curtis, the newest passenger on this Road to Legacy podcast, a student, lover of history, and I'm just super enthused, man, to be along for the ride with my brothers, discussing, debating life, politics, and race, and everything in between. Just hope you come and join us on this quest of seeking, learning, and above all, leaving a legacy. Grace and peace from the Road to Legacy.